Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, because this one will be interesting. Our guest has plenty to talk about, and well, I'll try to figure out what to say and what to do. He'll let us know because maybe there's some places you've seen him, but there might be some other places you'll definitely see him in the coming future. And while certainly he had the biggest matches of his career, he'll tell us about maybe some other matches or maybe some other things that he's working on next. Because trust me, we're still here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and wrestling matters. And our guest most certainly helped build Sportswire Radio to the tune of over 1,500 subscribers. And something tells me he's definitely going to show us why, well, maybe the devil in the blue coat is still around. He'll definitely tell us why he's got that instinct, and he'll definitely, I am sure, enlighten us and definitely get those hors d'oeuvres ready. And I couldn't even say it right because, well, I've been sick as a dog, but I've got that beverage right next to me to help my voice. I hope you have that beverage too, because a heat wave has come. It may get me down, but it'll never stop us here on Sportswire Radio. In the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott. Let's get rocked, baby, because even though you were here in the chat 45 minutes ago, you were waiting for it. You know you'll come back, and I know that he's waiting for it also. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road in style on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So, with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, #1 cable sports show. Ladies and gentlemen, angels and demons, get your hors d'oeuvres ready and the preferred beverage, because his name is simply put the gentleman of exquisite caliber, my friend, how are we doing?
After an introduction like that, as always, I feel a little more jocund. How about you, Reverend?
Sick as a dog, hoping that I could sleep for the 20 hours in a row to get this cold off, but that's not going to happen. But that's okay. We're in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and certainly we are here with you, and there is a lot to talk about. Obviously, some different things have happened. Certainly, you've had some big matches. I'm not sure what I could say about them, but I guess what I will say then, for those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform you, Godrick, Sandwell, most certainly helped build, Sportswire Radio. Talk about what is next.
Well, that is a mighty fine question. For yours surely is a little bit itchy to get back out on the road, as always. I do have a little bit of a free weekend this weekend coming up. I'm looking to get on the road to go somewhere, and I don't know where I want to go just yet.
You're free now. It's a great idea. Where do you want to go?
And that's the question. Do I want to take a trek up north? Do I want to take a traipse down south? Or do I want to go a little further east? How about west?
Well, you've been to Tennessee this past year. You've certainly been to some different places throughout the East Coast and the Mid Atlantic throughout these last few months. You've been in Ohio in the past. I mean, obviously, that's a place that comes to mind. So, definitely, there are some places you could certainly go, or maybe you want to go out of the country, even. Maybe you want to go to Canada. Maybe you want to go to other parts unknown, and maybe you're going to go on a much needed vacation after what you've put your body through and the amount of matches you've had this year. Maybe you're going to take a vacation and take it easy.
A vacation, taking it
Yeah.
easy. I'm not exactly sure what those words mean anymore.
Well, I mean, maybe that's just what's in store for you. Maybe you've decided that you went, you conquered, and now you're going to take a break for a weekend and maybe come back in a couple of weekends and have maybe some of the biggest matches, even bigger matches than you've had recently. I don't know.
Well, Veni Vidi Vici indeed, and perhaps a vacation may be in order.
Let's hope it's not a permanent vacation, to quote an Aerosmith album. That was their comeback album. But obviously, you've had some big matches of late, and certainly you've learned a lot about yourself. And I'm sure you'll use those big matches for whatever is ahead here coming up.
Yeah. Anytime I get into a match of, as you would say these days, epic proportions, I certainly like to learn as much as I can. Even sometimes when you're dealing with certain demonic entities, well, sometimes you learn a little bit more about yourself than you would care to know.
Well, you did learn a lot because we saw that video you did a few weeks back when Timothy Titan was here. Yeah, I think we can say his name still, where you were basically in a cemetery. So, I mean, you certainly did learn about maybe how dead people, maybe in their resting places, and maybe how long they stay there, and maybe some of those different things, and just what happens to the body. So, you did have that experience.
Surreal as that may be, yes. However, as I had said in that aforementioned promo, if anybody happens to pass by the Contrell Funeral Home, don't go there.
Don't go there.
So
You're not planning to go back to the Contrell Funeral Home anytime soon? No, that's not certainly for you then, huh?
Let's put it this way. For the average person that might be watching this right now, I would recommend that you do not go there. Some of the horrors no human being should ever see. None.
Well, I mean, all right.
As far as I would be concerned, personally, should the Soul Taker decide to rise again and seek this gentleman's noble soul, well, I will go back to Contrell Funeral Home and I will learn a little bit more about that history. Maybe there's something there that can help me send him back for his judgment.
So maybe you have unfinished business still. Maybe you'll have that match with the Soul Taker one day. I mean, maybe one day, wink and a nod one day, because certainly we promoted it, but we're going to obviously assume that we'll maybe have that match one more again with you and Soul Taker somewhere.
From a physical standpoint, I certainly hope not, because I was a little bit beat up after such an encounter. But as far as the moral judgments, as far as the judgments of the cherubim and the seraphim, wow, I'm thinking they're going to want me to have another tussle with the Soul Taker. So if that be the case, I'm happy to oblige.
Well, I guess we'll find out. I don't know where to go with this here, but I've received a comment from Ian Graves who says he's got a huge announcement. Now,
Ooh.
I don't know what that is. If he wants to share the announcement, he's certainly welcome to let us know what that is. As I'm wondering what that actually might be. I know there's been some things said out there, but if Mr. Graves wants to talk about his announcement or share it here, we'll certainly give him that opportunity, because we had some things we wanted to talk about with Mr. Sandwell about, but we're going to obviously pretend it was like one of those TV shows where basically it didn't happen, and you'll have to maybe see what happens on the next episode. But if Mr. Graves does have something to share, I would obviously say that the floor is open, and what would be his announcement? So we'll
That's a mighty
obviously.
fine question.
I
Yeah,
think that's a big question for a lot of people.
yeah. There's been a few wheelings and dealings going on pretty much all day today. I've been fielding phone calls, messages. I'm still trying to figure out text messaging with these cellular telephones, but
Well,
be
I
that as
thought of
it
you,
may.
Mr. Sandwell. Before we get to that, I was in a almost like a deli here in Brooklyn, and I actually saw a payphone in there. I don't think it was a working payphone, but John's Deli here in Diker Heights, Brooklyn, and they had a payphone in there. So you might still be hung up on using the payphone there. Not to quote the Lady Gaga song "Telephone," but you most certainly, I'm sure, are hung up on using a payphone. But yes, cell phones do have text messaging, and everybody has all types of devices, but that place was one of the few that still has a payphone. Payphones were a big thing once upon a time, and I vaguely remember using a payphone. But Ian Graves, I don't think is going to use a payphone here or talk about a payphone. But yeah, it's been an interesting last several hours. I've noticed in the world of some companies that have been topics here on this platform on and off for the last 8 or 9 months. I wonder if that announcement is related to that. Certainly, I know it's been a very awkward time, especially for you, Mr. Sandwell, because you've worked for a couple of companies that we've seen this song and dance go to. So I'll certainly see what Mr. Graves has on his agenda. If he would like to say something, is he looking to come on the stream? Is he looking to say it in the chat? But obviously, we're here with Godrick Sandwell, and Godrick Sandwell is obviously a traveling man, and he has also let us know that this coming weekend he's free. So I don't know what that means. That could be maybe vacation time. Maybe he's going to show up unannounced somewhere.
Mhm.
Maybe he's going to do something completely different. I mean, who knows what it could be. But Godrick Sandwell this coming weekend is free. And that's a rare thing. We know Godrick Sandwell's weekends. He has been weekend after weekend. He has definitely, to quote Loverboy, been working for the weekend. He has definitely been working for the weekend. And I have no doubt that he really won't take a permanent vacation, to quote one of my favorite Aerosmith albums. But certainly we are here. And also, we're here tomorrow. We're also back here Tuesday night. And we will be here on YouTube at Sportswire Radio 6579. Hit the sub button for us. And we are here with the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. I guess what I could ask you is, and yes, hello to Lady Lestat, as we're waiting for some type of announcement from Ian Graves. But so I guess, how do we use these last two matches to help you with whatever you do in this free weekend, as you say, coming up?
Well, obviously, I have to acquire the footage to make sure I have all the material I need in my hand, of course. But once I do, if that's feasible at this point, I would like to study the tape, make sure anything that anything I did right, I would like to keep that. Or if I did something that may have put me in a more, como se dice, compromised position,
Well,
maybe kind
you
of
did.
deviate.
Listen. You did do something last night that certainly took some people back. Daniel Tafu certainly had it on his mind. But again, I'm not even sure if I could ask that to you, because that seems to have been only, to quote Metallica, the memory remains. So I'm not even sure where I go there with that. But I am sure that people have read on Facebook about what has happened. And what has happened is that there has been some different things that have been put out there regarding a company that you've worked for, Express Wrestling. And there's obviously been some things out there that seem to be very serious, and some things that I'm sure why many wrestlers have put statements out, and why many wrestlers have no longer decided to work for that company. And that's very, very understandable. And I'm sure that's putting a lot of people like yourself, Mr. Sandwell. And I'm trying to give you as much rope as possible here now that I'm starting to get my feet under me, because I really am sick as a dog right now. And I think really what it comes down to is that, unfortunately, because of certain allegations out there, this company that used to be talked about quite a bit and has quite a history is probably going to go the wayside with a lot of talents that come on this platform, and it puts people in an awkward position. And I'm going to certainly take the reign here for a minute because I've been doing this a while and I've seen this firsthand. What happened in backyard wrestling several months ago, we had on some backyard wrestlers and some backyard wrestling companies that came onto the platform, and there was things that were found out that these companies were harboring or hiding those that had did some serious things like child pornography and
Hmm.
pedos and different things like that out there, and it was serious stuff that we didn't know about. And unfortunately, this is the dark side. To quote the dark side of the ring, this is the dark side of the ring where we see companies that things go out there, and it's very unfortunate for the people that are there, and obviously the talent, because talent want to go out there and just wrestle, and they don't want to have to defend themselves or go out there and put statements out basically talking that they can't work somewhere because of certain things, whether it's because of someone's history or ties to the people that run the company. And I think that those are things that certainly will let itself play out. I've seen it here, unfortunately, play out on this platform with backyard wrestlers and wrestlers that used to come on this platform regularly. And those were things when they were found out, obviously, about certain wrestlers and certain backgrounds. It definitely rocked the backyard and the underground wrestling community. And I have a feeling that today is one of those days, sadly, for many of the talents that work at Express Wrestling. And I could obviously see that it puts you also in a difficult position because for that company that you had worked for, you were one of their champions. And I had noticed that they had crowned some new champions last night. I had saw in the results, and some double champions like Day Jameson, certainly Pepper Pride, who also hold another championship. But um, Ian Graves would like to come on here. Is that something you want, or what is your thoughts on
Please,
that? All right, I will
please, that's
send him a
perfectly
link.
fine.
Okay, I will send him a link. Okay, I will send him a link. We'll do that here. Give us about a minute or two, and we'll certainly
Mhm.
see what he has to say. And obviously, we'll see whatever else people want to hear about and such. But if you are here on Sportswire Radio, we are here with the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters. And also, if you are here, Godrick Sandwell, yes, you can still follow him. He is on Facebook. He is certainly going to be telling us about what places he will be next. I am sure there'll be plenty there to talk about. And also, if you are out there, we have sent Ian Graves the link. So definitely, I am sure that there'll be something here you might want to see here when it comes to Express Wrestling. So yeah, that was a company that was going Express, but I think they're going to be grounded. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But obviously, hello to everybody out there in the chat. And also, if you are here out there and you want to see more coverage, we'll also have some different people on here. James Taylor, the Nemesis James Taylor, will be back here later this week. He makes his long-awaited return to talk all things related to ROEW, and I'm sure Godrick Sandwell will be coming here to talk about some other stuff that he has working on here. So I am sure that there'll be some other things here on the agenda, and we're going to wait for Mr. Graves, and I am sure there's going to be something that's coming down the pike here. And it's unfortunately, like I said, I've seen this here all too often times in the wrestling world. You most certainly know that this will be one of those shows that I'm sure people will be talking about, and probably not for the reasons that are memorable. And, we only hope for the best for every company and everybody else out there. But again, if you are here on YouTube, be patient with us. And I really feel sorry for you, Godrick, because I really, in my notes, had a whole bunch of things to talk about from last night and the week before. And really, that's going to be scratched. So that's why I was trying to do as best I can to dance around it in a way. I was kind of glad I had a cold, but now I'm getting warmed up, and something tells me here that we'll be here for sure. And yes, we love Godrick. Thank you, Lady Lestat. Lady Lestat, we definitely love everybody here, and we love all the talent, all the wrestlers that work in Express Wrestling, and we only hope for the best for everybody out
Absolutely.
there. And certainly a
Absolutely.
very awkward time. I have no doubt that that is the thing that I'm sure is on people's minds. And I guess this will be one of those days where it's who knows? Right place, right time. We'll find out some of these news here. But again, Zilla says hello. Thank you, Zilla. Ox McCoy was hoping I feel better. Yes. Who knows really at this point? Who knows really?
No, don't be so coy. You'll be backing up and at him
I'm
in no
here
time.
now. I'm here now. It's just unfortunately, it's just the weather here is it's 100 degrees. It was like 50 degrees last week, and now it's 100. But we are
Yeah,
waiting for things will really heat up here, and it'll definitely heat up when Ian Graves comes on here. But also, if you are here on Sportswire Radio, my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, and I will get to a couple of comments while we wait.
let's.
Also, yes, yeah, I can't really say much about Daniel Tafua had questions about yesterday, but I don't think I can really ask you about them. But he did say Tafua, yeah. So scratch those questions out. But what's going on in his mind? Yes, Ox McCoy is here. Thank you, Ox.
It's
Thank you, Ox.
McCoy.
And also, yes, hello, thank you, Zilla. And you were fashionably late, but for good reasons. Why? Definitely for reasons that you'll see why. And thank you, Ox, for wishing me to feel better. And yes, we definitely love Lady Lestat as well. And, so you're still free this weekend, though, Connery. Still free this weekend.
That is correct. I have a rare free weekend. It's just where will the road take me next? As a matter of fact, I can mention a place I will be returning to here in the near
Good.
future.
I would love to hear.
Well, Warpath Pro Wrestling has gotten back in touch with me. So back down to Tennessee. Yeah.
Well, I have the man that's here that wants to talk, and I'm going to do that in a minute or so because I see him trying to load up here on his screen. So I will do that in about 60 or so seconds. So hello there to Ian Graves. I'll definitely get to him shortly. And I am no doubt that he'll have something plenty much to say here. So give us about 60 or so seconds, and we'll bring him on. And there we go. Okay. Yep. So there we go. Obviously, we have. Let me change the screen. That'll look better.
There we go.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I know. That.
Well, I'm sure this is not for reasons that we expected, but obviously, hello. I know it's been a minute, and I guess good to be with you here at the moment.
Good to see you again, Mr. Tom Bryce. And sorry, I did bring the lovely Lady Lestat with me.
No, obviously, we love seeing the ladies and everybody that's here. So good to be with you. And what's on your mind?
First of all, Godrick, I do apologize. I assume you were getting to the same mindset as I was. But this is big news. I know just as much as the rest of everyone else.
Well, what's going on? What's on your mind?
It has to do with, as we were talking about, Express Wrestling.
Yeah. Very well.
And time to pull back the curtain just ever so slightly.
Okay.
As of January 1st of 2025, I went very big for Express Wrestling. And Godrick, you know this as well as anyone.
Yes, I do.
For Express Wrestling, I took the liberty and brought out the Express Wrestling Memorial, or the PWX Memorial Tag Team titles.
Those are beautiful, by the way. I always said that.
Last owned by the degenerates known as Ricky Rapua and his partner.
Yeah, Michael Grit. Or Michael Grit? I can't remember the pronunciation on that. I apologize.
Correct. Tom Bryce, you would also know, since you keep up with All Wrestling and All Wrestling Matters, these were also held by the one and only Jace Carr's tag team of...
it was the JD team.
Yes, JD team. Thank you. Dalton McKenzie and his tag team partner.
Jack Vaughn, none other.
Yes.
That is it.
We talked about Jack Vaughn a few months ago on Sportswire. He came up because he was at an Express show. Yep.
Another gentleman that I would like to have another tussle with in the near future.
Yep.
And if me and Mr. McKenzie should go at it once again, can I ask him not to throw me almost through the roof again? That'd be great.
Could try, no promises.
I understand.
It is so hard for me to have to say this. But as everyone else has seen and watched today, myself, Ian Graves, and the beautiful Miss Lady Lestat will be leaving Express Wrestling. Along with these. These are my property. I did not sell these. I did not donate these to Express. These are mine.
I understand your decision, and honestly, I do not blame either one.
To the degenerates, no disrespect at all. You guys were amazing tag team champions, and I appreciate you guys taking so well care of these tag titles. But as a further notice, we are no longer part of Express, and I will be taking these tag titles to either WVWF or Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots.
Very, very heavy news. As
Wow.
I was saying, Ian, unfortunately, I've seen this in backyard wrestling. There was a show here months ago where, certain individuals and certain companies were doing things that they did not tell the public, and they didn't tell their audience, and they didn't tell a lot of people. And there was stuff out there. And unfortunately, while it's not exactly the same thing, it kind of reminds me of that day here where there's going to be probably, if not most or the overwhelming majority of the roster in Express Wrestling that is going to exit stage left, and very understandably so, because of certain things that have been put out there. And obviously people have to do what's the best for them and also for the people around them. And I think that that's obviously a commendable thing. And certainly Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots and WVWF have been companies that have been covered here on Sportswire Radio. And I'm sure that those places will be even better because of this. But unfortunately, for many people, a company that they called home, a company that had a long resume, a history that spanned decades, is going to crumble. And that's for very, very understandable reasons.
Actually, if I may, actually now would be a good time because I have a small announcement of my own.
Sure.
Mr. Graves, Miss Lady Lestat, like the both of you, I have been about as vocal about Express Wrestling as I can be as well. I've wanted this to be a brand new venture. I've wanted this to be a brand new, just brand new. It's as simply as that. But with the light of some recent tidings, I am your Three Rivers champion no longer either. I will be making a more detailed post about this after the broadcast, but for right now, I want it known that Godrick Sandwell will no longer be with Express Wrestling either.
And Godrick, real quick, I want to apologize. I know you probably had this all planned out with Sportswire, but you know how much this meant to me to make that brand better. And I didn't want to just post like everyone else. I needed to say it in front of the people. Most definitely, I respect Godrick, you a ton, and Tom Bryce. We're all Wrestling Matters.
Yeah, it's a sad day. Unfortunately, it's a sad day for a lot of people because of, it was a home for people. It was a home that they called theirs, and they just had a show. I mean, literally a show yesterday where we saw some really big names wrestle, and I like you said, Mr. Graves, I had in my litany to talk with Godrick about what happened. And now, like I said, it's like one of those TV shows where you forget the episode and it's just a memory. It's a memory that remains but can't be acknowledged. It just, unfortunately, that's the reality of it. It's just, you have to do it. And I do have somebody else that wants to make a comment. That is Daniel Tafu. I was going to do the long intro, but I don't know if this is the moment for it.
Daniel Tafu.
Well, I guess Godrick Sandwell did it, so there you go. Mr. Tafu, how are you? Yes.
Aside from startling me, of course.
I I acknowledge you,
I
Tafua.
appreciate
How are
it.
you?
I'm
How
great.
are you?
How are you? It's been a while since I've been on here.
I know. I've been trying to get everybody on, but
But it's
unfortunately,
been a long time for me too. So
This is my
well,
first time.
well,
I understand you've been sick though, Tom.
well, just today. Otherwise, I've been overworked like a dog, and I can't wait. After Tuesday, I'm no longer overworked like a dog, so there'll be more free time after Tuesday. So that's good news for everyone, I suppose.
Excellent. And
Well,
before you go into what you need to say, Mr. Tafua, Mr. Graves, I want to say this directly to you. You have nothing to apologize to me for. I thank you, and you are welcome with me anytime, as are you, Miss Lady Lestat, and as are you, Mr. Tafua.
I appreciate it.
Godrick, you were all too kind, but you know how I am, brother. You know how I am.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual. But Mr. Tafua, I believe it is you that has something on your mind.
I kind
Please.
of do, and that is the same thing that everyone else has been doing. I also have been expressing myself, if that makes a lot of sense. So, as your USWA Universal Champion, I will also not be at Express Wrestling no more because of some arrogant and unconniving people. But hey, you can always find me everywhere else. Find
Indeed.
Well, they do say one door opens, another door closes. That's what they do usually say. I mean,
in other terms, in my way, my red door is always open.
well, your door is always red, but yeah, I mean, it's what it is. But listen, like I said, one door opens, another door closes, and there's a lot of companies out there that I'm sure would take not only everybody on the screen, but all of the other individuals who I'm sure who have already joined will make the same decision. I see my buddy D Savage, who just won gold in 814 wrestling, and he even
Congratulations.
says 814 the door could be open, and obviously it's a sad day, but like I said, there's a lot of other people I'm sure that you guys will get a chance to work with that you didn't, and maybe you guys will be better for it. I don't know.
There is a door that's opening on August 2nd. Isn't that right, Mr. Godrick Sandwell?
Yes, it is. It is another trip to Tennessee on the
Oh,
books.
Tennessee.
Yep.
Mhm.
You guys are going together? Are you guys bringing Ian too and Lady Lestat? You got to bring Ian and Lady Lestat maybe to Tennessee.
Good.
I'll
Mhm.
have her check the date book. We'll see if it's free.
That sounds good. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned the name of D Savage over at 814 because I did see his fantastic news as well, being the new Legacy champion, if my memory serves.
Correct.
Mr. Savage, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this at any point, I remember you said something about wishing to take on yours truly for that Legacy championship.
And
Don't
he's
think a
here.
gentleman
I
forget.
think he's here in maybe 3 weeks from 3 weeks from Monday. He's here. He's here 3 weeks from Monday, so
All
he'll be
right.
here. You
All
might want
right.
to
If you,
introduce yourself again or reintroduce yourself.
oh, I'm happy to introduce myself
And he,
to Mr. Savage again.
and he just wrestled Tommy Invincible a couple weeks ago, also 2 weeks ago.
I do remember that. It was quite a stellar match, I will say.
Yes. So maybe that's the thing. But yeah, to recap for those that are here, and we won't keep this for an all-nighter, but obviously the news is that Express Wrestling, there's certain things out there. Check for yourself and figure out what other wrestlers have said. And many wrestlers have walked out, and understandably so, have decided that they would like to resign and no longer be a part of Express Wrestling. And that includes some of these very fine individuals here: Godrick Sandwell, Daniel Tafua, Ian Graves, Lady Lestat. There have been many others that have also joined. You can check out Facebook for a long list of them. And I'm sure between this broadcast and tomorrow, you'll probably see pretty much almost everybody that's been there or on the roster will have done the same. And that will certainly be for very, very valid and understandable reasons. And certainly you do want to follow these wrestlers. And I mean, is there, and Mr. Savage would like to say he'll make phone calls for everybody. He'll make phone calls. Zilla would like to apologize. Yes, Zilla, we are also very sorry about this because, I mean, if I could say this for a minute, I was actually getting excited again for Express Wrestling the last couple months. I felt like I was, getting really excited about it. We had a new offshoot company. We had a show yesterday that people were really talking about. We had the show the prior Friday. I had plans for. You guys were on the card. I mean, with some really exciting things ahead. Tommy Horror spoke a lot about it a couple weeks ago, and I think the last 2 months I had been the most excited I had been about Express Wrestling, to tell you the truth. I really was getting into it. I saw Dave Jameson had returned. Like I mentioned, Pepper Pride. I mean, your match, Mr. Sandwell, what you did, Mr. Tofu, and your victory over Peanut Butter and Jealous. I know your history with them, Mr. Graves. I know not the night to go and do that tonight. But, I mean, there was some really exciting things that were happening. And I think that people were making some changes, but unfortunately, I'm doing this a long time. I've seen this with British wrestling companies. I've seen it with underground backyard companies. And this is something that's part to the course. And we just wish the best for everybody that's in these companies. And they would love to be in OVW too. I'll ask D Get Bundles when he's on here Wednesday. Yeah, we'll ask D Get
Oh,
Bundles.
Mr. Bundles, that's right.
I was supposed
That's
to
a
have him
name
on.
I know quite well.
Yeah, I don't think this would be the time to have him on after this, but he'll be back Wednesday. We'll bring him on Wednesday. So Wednesday he'll be here. But yeah,
If I may,
you can say anything you want.
if I may for a second,
Sure.
when it came to Express, it wasn't just promoting for a wrestling show. We banded as a family. It was the biggest family, I think, in the entire wrestling world. And that's what I think made it work so well. And Godrick, you could contest to this, and even Mr. Tafua, I think, could contest to this. It wasn't about how the booking went. We cared about those fans. Those fans were everything.
Not were, are.
Correct.
They are everything.
I got something for you, Mr. Sandwell.
Sir?
Just know that since you have resigned, so have I. There is a shot for you for this.
You certainly piqued this gentleman's interest. I may have to take you up on that.
That's fine. Because unfortunately, like I said before, the red door is always open. And
Well, thankfully, I'm wearing red right now.
Exactly. But you're also the devil in the blue coat.
I am when I need to be.
Just know that the whispers run high.
You
should know that by now.
Well, that definitely is red. Everything is red. And yeah, I do agree with you, though, that Express Wrestling had an amazing heritage. The Pittsburgh wrestling scene, getting a chance to talk a little bit about it with Timothy Titan and certainly Mr. Horror when he was here. Godrick's been a regular on here over the past 8 or 9 months. And the fans, that's who I do feel sorry for most, is the fans. Because the fans, you guys had a special relationship with them 30 plus years. It was a company with the Express building, the amount of success you guys all had because of those fans. And certainly in 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania, I'll be very sorry for them because they're not going to get a chance to see the wrestlers that they've identified with and called their own. And you guys definitely had a special relationship with them. And I'm very, very sorry for the fans. And I'm sure you guys all feel the same. I've seen videos from guys out there saying the same thing. And hopefully maybe hope springs eternal and maybe something will come from this. But obviously, is there anything else you guys want to say here before we end this show? Because unfortunately, this is pretty much what we're here for. I mean, there really isn't, unfortunately, much more I could add, sadly, because of just, the news. And it's such a bummer. I hate doing this. I did a show on this, like I said, with Backyard Wrestling, and it really killed the backyard wrestling community. I mean, I know you guys, it's not your thing, and, I would certainly understand why, but, when things get put out there, it puts people in an uncomfortable, awkward position. And I also want to put this out there, if I could. what's been put out there, we do not condone or support. I want to put that out here. No one here on this platform, none of these wrestlers condones or supports the actions that have been put out there. And I also want to put it out there. I was around in UK wrestling during the time of the speak up movement, where everybody was speaking out and such. And that was a thing that was, devastating. The UK wrestling scene, it's recovered, but it took a long time to recover. So, these are things that we don't take lightly, and we do not condone on this platform. We don't want anybody to condone or support that. If they do, then obviously they need to find somewhere else to talk. But obviously, I want to put that out there on behalf of the guys and the other people that work and express that, that haven't made statements. I'm sure that what they will, but none of these fine people, and many Express wrestlers have been on Sportswire. I want to say that, or have wrestled in Express, and they definitely don't condone either these actions. But is there anything else anybody here wants to say before we, sign off and such?
Yeah, I do.
Good.
For Sandwell, just know that day when it comes to this title, just know all the fans that follow will set you free, and you'll never forget the name. Ta Fu!
That has become my favorite thing probably the last 2.5 months on Sportswire. I have to say that's been one of my, I probably like it more than Grand Funk Railroad's Mark Farner coming on here, because the Tafua thing just seems to be, it's got a special spot in my heart there, Mr. Tafua. And I promise you, I'll have to do one of these open mic shows where I just get everybody on, because I'm so behind in people. I have 15 people. I have Hammer and Loveless that I owe. I have you guys owed appearances. I know you. Well, yeah, you would definitely gonna say that, but I've got a list of people that I have to bring back on, but we'll figure it out.
You've seen they spray painted my back.
I did. I saw that, but you know what though? We really can't talk much about them anyway because it's a moot point. So maybe it won't be Hammer time anymore. I don't know. Hopefully it'll be somewhere else. But obviously, D Savage has got his own history with Loveless. Loveless didn't show up to a match of his, but I'll leave that at that. But yeah, that's conversation for a different time. But Lady Lestat and Mr. Graves, anything else that you both want to say before we say sayonara?
Just thank you for having us, and I do apologize. I completely crashed your show.
No, I'd be honest with you, I knew it was coming. To be honest, I knew that tonight was going to probably be not the episode I thought I had with Godrick. I realized it. I took a nap because I've been sick all day, and I messaged Godrick, and I was like, hey, are we still going to go on? He was like, yeah, we got plenty to talk about. I'm pumped up for this one. And then it was right after we messaged on Facebook, I saw probably, I think, 3 wrestlers' pages on Facebook about Express.
Yeah.
Then I read Mr. Horror's post on Facebook.
I can tell you before.
This ain't happening tonight.
Before Sportswire went on the air, it was 6. I had counted 6.
6.
Yeah, I didn't see all of them because I was sitting here and, but I saw at least 3. I saw 3 plus horror. So that's 4. So probably a couple more after that. So it was I knew in my head, yeah, we're not going to be talking about yesterday and last Friday. No, we're not. And a whammy for Tafu and Sandwell, because another company that they worked for, we can't talk about them either because they're no longer. I mean, so that's really, I really feel bad for you guys, especially because 2 companies. You had 2 companies that are, no more. What the reasons are, who knows? But yeah, it happens. And, the only thing you can do is move forward. And I still believe the best is yet to come. But Mr. Sandwell, I'll give you the last word if there's anything else you want to add or anything else, and I pass the baton to you.
Thank you, Reverend. Honestly, there's really not much that can be said that hasn't been said already. With everything that's come to light of recently, with everybody speaking their piece as they wish, and I got my chance to do so, and I will do so a little bit later on after this podcast. There are just some things that will not, cannot, and should not ever, for any reason, be tolerated. This is one of those things, and you got to draw a line in the sand somewhere.
No, I think it's well said, because I think, unfortunately, I know that we just want to focus on wrestling, especially what's going on in the world right now, right? The world is in such a chaotic state. You have bombs going off, countries, threatening each other. We've had a tenuous time in since COVID, really. I mean, we've had, racial tensions, we've had people being threatened, and, different social, economic statuses, and so many different. We come here, right? We all come here at the end of the day to get away from the distractions, whether it's, again, situation dealing with job or family, or like I said, what's going on in the world, or even where you live. Like, even for me, a couple weeks ago, I almost get robbed. I mean, I get harassed in the street every other day. I mean, like, people want to go, want to get away from that stuff, and then when, unfortunately, it hits us at our doorstep with what's happened here, certainly from today and yesterday, or, obviously what we talked about in backyard wrestling toward the end of last year. It's definitely something that, it's very unfortunate, and we have to break the fourth wall, and it happens. And unfortunately, this is, like you said, the moment that people have to let the world know. And I'll let you guys go in a minute to, obviously give everybody a chance on their pages to make a statement. And I'll probably post something from a clip on Facebook and such. But my heart goes out to all the talent. My heart goes out also to the people that were impacted by this. I think that that's an important thing to also put out there on behalf of all the talent, is the individuals that had to deal with what happened in this company. My heart goes out to them. And I always tell people all the time, I am actually a reverend, and I am I'm a notary. I'm a commissioner of deeds. So I took an oath to get my position. So I take these things very seriously. I worked in politics, still do. So I deal with people's problems in a day in and day basis. And when I hear these things, it makes my heart break. It makes my heart break for the people that were impacted by this. And I hope that they have some solemn and peace. And again, my well wishes to all of you talents, and definitely don't be a stranger. I'm sure you'll be back here on a better note. But the news here before we signed off is that wrestlers here, including Godrick, Sandwell, Daniel Tafua, the Mighty Liga, Ian Graves, of course, one of our premier referees, and Lady Lestat, one of also premier people behind Express Wrestling, have resigned from Express Wrestling for obviously reasons that you can check out individuals' Facebook pages for more information on. And I am sure there'll be more statements. They'll all make statements to come on their pages. Check them out on Facebook. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I wish it was on a better note, but we've been through this before. We'll get through it. And God bless all of you. God bless to all the people that have to find somewhere else to wrestle. You guys will all do great. You all land on your feet. And my heart goes out to the fans, and my heart goes out also to all the victims that had to deal with this type of stuff. But thank you, everybody. Yes, and I agree with Zilla. We feel bad for the talent and the fans. And also, yes, maybe we want to see D Savage and Godrick Sandwell. Maybe Sandwell and Daniel Tafua with Ian Graves refereeing somewhere. How do you like that? But thank you, everybody. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.